And we, as a show here, the Ben Maller Show, will follow up now a story that we are closely monitoring, and many people in the mainstream media, we're not part of the mainstream, we're on late nights, but many people in the mainstream are ignoring this. The sudden demise of LeBron James. The sudden demise of LeBron James, a demoralizing performance for the historians there against Oklahoma City. Now, I don't know if you saw the game or not, but LeBron did not play well, and LeBron made some comments recently that also stood out. And he gave a bit of an explanation, or attempted to, for his substandard performance. If you did not hear this, maybe you missed it, perhaps. So LeBron says that being confined to the resort in Orlando without his family is taking its toll on his being. Quote, "I miss the hell out of my family," LeBron complained. "My wife, my kids, my mother," he said. And so on and so on. So it's a huge challenge. Close quote. Let us discuss the question, what do you think of LeBron James' comments about being homesick? Being homesick. It's only been a couple of weeks. He's homesick. So LeBron James loves to play the victim card. He does. Being one of the most famous athletes on the planet and living in the lap of luxury, real adversity, right? Real adversity. It's always something with LeBron, the pouty superstar, right? The pouty superstar. Now, do you feel empathy for LeBron? Because I don't. I do not. He's got a job. It's a good job. It's a great job. He's good at it, right? He's been assigned by his employer to work away from home for a while. Right? He signed up to be in the NBA. It's like being a traveling salesperson. You're traveling around, right? That's part of the gig. You look around, like the U.S. military, like some of the contractors. We have people listening to the show that work for Halliburton, and you're living out of a suitcase, but you're doing it because you're supporting your family. It's also what grown-ups do. You have a job. It's a traveling job. You go on business trips. This is a long-term business trip. The difference, though, is that LeBron James is not really living the line where, the traditional life before the apocalypse, where you're standing in line at the airport waiting for a flight and you get bumped from a flight and you're going to some cheeseball hotel. No, LeBron is cooped up at a luxury resort in Orlando. And from what I understand, it's a class system. The biggest stars in the NBA are living an even better life than your generic stars in the NBA. Like, we're talking about the entire top floor of a hotel, the presidential suite, and then some. Living like an aristocrat in Mickey Mouse house there in Orlando. And by the way, I have no problem with that. These NBAs, they bought out all these hotels, and that's usually how it works. I know in radio, if we have an event, they treat Colin Cowherd slightly better than me. That's probably how that should go. This is an on-brand situation for LeBron, right? He plays the NBA media like a fiddle. And in this particular chapter, Burger King James is wearing overalls, and he's working as a farmer, right? Just imagine LeBron wearing overalls. He's out on a farm in Iowa. Remember that kid song, right? The farmer plants the seeds. Hi-ho, the dairy-o. LeBron is laying the foundation, is what he's doing. He is going to harvest this particular crop of excuses. That's what he's doing. He's planting the seeds that will grow up and become excuses when the Lakers inevitably play like dog crap in the playoffs and are choking dogs and exit the postseason. And he's not even trying to conceal his devious plan for the bubblicious NBA postseason. When the Lakers stumble, and they will, they're not going to win the championship, he will tug at your heartstrings and say, it's because he's such a better person than you. He's a better husband, he's a better father than you, and he just could not focus on his job because of the bubble, right? He's homesick. LeBron's homesick. He should, listen, let me tell you something right now. If he really is homesick, he should make sure to do a pratfall in the first round And I'm looking at that Portland Trailblazer team with Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum, and I'm looking at the depth chart at the guard position for the Lakers. And that is a ready-made first-round KO. It's happened a few times in NBA history where a 8 seed's beaten a number 1 seed. So, hey, LeBron, if you play Portland, rather than elongate your time in the bubble, because if you go all the way to the finals, that's like another couple of months. So just, hey, blow it up. Final point. So Burger King, James, he gets to play the daily double. And we already gave you one part of the daily double. What about the other part? This particular rant about being homesick. Not only does he use this for a pardon when things go upside down, and they, again, will go upside down in the playoffs. It's inevitable. But he also can use it as a facade to disguise the fact that he is aging. LeBron James is aging before our eyes. Now, I said this the first game out of the gates. He didn't play well against the Clippers. They squeezed it out against a bunch of backups that were playing in key roles in the rotation for the Clippers. But LeBron looked chubby. He looked chubby to me. But now he just looks old. And we believe in truth in broadcasting on the overnight show. So we believe in truth in broadcasting. And LeBron James, you watch, and I watched a good chunk of this game. It was on early, West Coast time. LeBron played raggedy and disheveled basketball in the bubble. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I know some who carry the water for LeBron will sugarcoat this, but let me give you my evidence to back up that LeBron is just not the same here. He's drinking the grandpa juice. Go to the stats. In 4 games, all right? So it's not 1 game, not 2 games, not 3, 4 games. And they're only playing 8 before the playoffs start. So 4 games in, lo and behold, Burger King has not only been a basketball player, but he's also been a cookie-cutter basketball player. LeBron shooting 42% from the floor. 3-point range, forget about it, 27%. From the charity stripe, he's shooting 68%. And the most damning stat of all, his plus-minus rating in the 4 games he's played with the Lakers, and they've won a couple and lost a couple. LeBron, while he's been on the court, has a minus 32 rating inside the bubble. Now, what does that mean? That means that the Lakers have been outscored by an average of 8 points a game while LeBron was on the court. So they have been a better team with him not out there than when he's out there. That is a referendum on how bad this guy has played. Now, for reference, prior to this, LeBron, his field goal percentage, 3-point, and foul shooting they were all higher. LeBron was shooting like 50% before the music stopped in the NBA season. And that was from the floor, 35% from 3-point range. That's down 8%. His foul shooting's down as well. And before all this, when he was on the court, the Lakers outscored opponents by 8 points a game. That is a 16-point difference from LeBron before the bubble to after the bubble. He was +8 to -8. That's a 16-point turnaround. Yeah, it's only a small sample size. Oh, yeah, sure, okay. Nothing to see here, right? Now, his numbers across the board being down. So he is saying he's homesick, but that is a diversionary tactic, is what it is. And you can choose to avoid the Komodo dragon in the room, but based on what we have in front of us, the evidence that we have, it is damning for LeBron James. Not good. Not good at all. If you have a ticket on the Lakers, you might want to tear that up right now.